Shadow work for emotional clutter. Let's talk about it. So, what is emotional clutter? Emotional clutter is this non physical thing. It's all of your emotions that you are either not addressing, that you're ignoring, you're avoiding, or you are at a point where you have become desensitized to your emotions. And you get to a point where you become emotionally and energetically congested. So when you are at that point, it becomes really hard to process your emotions and even deal with things going on throughout your day, just day to day stressors. These things can become even more challenging, or it feels like something that really shouldn't be that much of a big deal. It like amplifies everything that you're experiencing because you have this clutter, because you have this extra added weight from these emotions that you have not fully addressed. So, how does shadow work play a role in that? I consider emotional clutter to be a energetic and emotional congestion. It's your energetic body is filled with all of this debris, this emotional debris, and you want to be able to clear that out. It's all of these stagnant emotions that are just kind of sitting in your energetic field, sitting in your chakras, sitting in these different aspects of your non-physical self. And it is something that can directly affect what is going on in your physical life, in your day to day life. Also, it can affect the things that's going on within your body. So, when it comes to emotions and getting to a point where you have emotional clutter, oftentimes it is something that is a buildup. It is weighing you down because you are not addressing the emotions, you are avoiding the emotions, you're in denial. Sometimes you're at a point where these emotions can become so intense that you become desensitized. You've normalized these very triggering types of emotions, and you want to get to a point where you want to start clearing those things out. My first suggestion when it comes to how to use shadow work to clear emotional clutter is to identify the top three stressors that you are currently experiencing in your life. For example, it might be work, it might be your relationship, it might be something going on with your finances. If those are your top three stressors, and this is just an example, then you can use this as a baseline. This is a great option if you're not sure of where the root of your emotional clutter stems from. The reason why I suggest this is because if you're not sure, oftentimes, whatever the root of that stressor is, it shows up in these different areas of our life. It shows up in the main stressors that we are experiencing. So it's kind of like this law of attraction type of thing where the same energy that you are putting out is the same energy that you are receiving, and it's showing up, whether this could be positive or negative, right? So if you have certain emotions that have not been addressed, it's going to show up in your life in other ways. It's going to show up through it might show up in your career, it might show up with your finances, it might show up within your relationships. So it makes sense that some of these main stressors are a mirror effect to some of the main key points that you need to address within your emotions and getting to the root of that. So, this is a great starting point. Once you have addressed those, your top three main stressors, I want you to start making a list of all of the emotions that start to come up for you as you are acknowledging these stressors. As you sit and think about and even experience like what these stressors have been like for you, list the emotions that are associated with those stressors. for each particular stressor. And then I want you to start looking at what some of the common emotions are within those three stressors. And oftentimes you will start to see a pattern, you will see some type of similarity. And this is a good indicator that you have one or two specific emotions that really should be the priority for you to start to address. And using these suggestions really can help you just get to one thing, one starting point. And you can always address other emotions later. But oftentimes it is this ripple effect, right? So you'll start to see these patterns, you start to see these similarities when it comes to what you're experiencing. And then you can look at, okay, is it each individual situation, or is it this emotion that's creating this loop? Am I constantly in situations that are feeding this loop of overwhelm, or feeding this loop of frustration, feeding this loop of depression or sadness or feeling insecure? Whatever those things are, you can now start to look at the situation and how that directly relates to that particular emotion. Once you start to look at the patterns and you start to look at the flow of things, then you can start to find a point that you want where you can break that pattern. You want to start to break the loop. And the only way to start doing that is to acknowledge where it's showing up in different areas of your life. Once you get to that point, now you can start to reflect on how these emotions continue to trigger you, continue to keep you overwhelmed, continue to keep you in a kind of lower vibrating state or keep you way down. This is about observation. And this part is really important. Being able to observe what the patterns are and where the pain points are. It can be hard to just not look and observe from a point of judgment, but that really is the goal. You want to observe without judgment. You don't want to judge yourself for being stuck in a loop or being caught up in an experience that you feel like you can't get out of. You don't want that. This is just looking at how it's currently working within your life right now. And then through that observation, through the act of just acknowledging what this flow is, then you can start to address each aspect of that flow. And oftentimes, when you start at one point, it will drastically change everything else that's happening. The goal here is to find the patterns and then focus on one point within that pattern and start to break that up. Start to shift the dynamic. But you can't do that unless you take a moment to observe without judgment, unless you take a moment to just analyze what you're experiencing, to really pull back and step out of your situation and look at it from a different perspective. That can feel very challenging to do when it comes to emotions, because with emotions you're just so into it. You're just sitting in it, and it can feel like just you're being dumped on by all of this stuff. And that's why you got to step back and you have to observe from a different point of view. From a different angle, you can start to look at what is not working in this flow for you. Does this mean that you need to change up some of the people that you are surrounding yourself around? Maybe. Maybe that requires you letting some people go, walking away from a relationship. Maybe that requires you to decide to leave your job or take a different career path. Maybe it's just acknowledging that the people you're surrounding yourself with, or how you're spending your money, or how you're currently, kind of where you're at within your career, just acknowledging that this is not actually bringing you anything positive. It's not bringing you anything that's going to allow you to move forward. It's just keeping you in the same place. So I don't want you to feel that, when you are doing this work, that it means you have to take action right away. Sometimes it's about just getting to the point where you're acknowledging what is not working. And you just want, and just getting to a point where you accept that. Sometimes that's all that it takes, just accepting that this is not working. This person is not serving my greatest good. I am not making smart choices when it comes to financial decisions. And now I can just accept that this is the reality of my situation, sit in that acceptance, bask in that acceptance of just knowing that this is not working out for you. And then when you're ready, you can start to explore what the possibilities could be for you, what it's going to actually take for you to no longer be in that experience. To, like, what will it take for you to release those emotions? What actions need to take place in order for you to work through those emotions and clear out that clutter, clear out and break up that loop and break up the debris that's keeping you in this current situation, in this current experience? Because oftentimes, like I mentioned earlier, your situation is kind of feeding certain emotions. So if you're at a point where you are feeling emotionally cluttered and then there's all of this like stagnant energy and it's kind of weighing you down, then you're in a loop that's continuously feeding that clutter and adding to that clutter. And so getting to this point where you start to identify where the main stressors are for you, and then you start to look at what the similarities are, and then you pull back and observe from a place of non-judgment, then you can start to explore how and what needs to happen, what is required in order for you to clear that stagnant energy and to clear that clutter. One of the things that I've learned is that when it comes to dealing with your emotions, it can really leave you feeling very cloudy. Your vision is cloudy. It's hard to really see past the emotion. And this process is something that I've personally used, and it has helped me really gain clarity on what is showing up and why. Because most of the time, at least for myself, you let me know if you have experienced this. It's like, I just want to know why this is happening. Like, why me? Why am I going through this? Why it gotta be me? And this process has helped me make it less about me and like me being the victim in the victim mindset, so to speak, and really looking at everything that's happening from a different point of view. Now I can see kind of like this map of how this is showing up. So let me know if you found this video to be helpful. Be sure to like this video if you liked it, and share this video with someone that you think would gain value from it. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.